How's it? Seffrican and not welcome to a game. You know I don't normally do this, but the Far Cry 5 trailer just landed, so I just thought, you know what, it's Friday here, so let's just kind of like have a look at it, just get some initial reactions and feedback, and if you guys want to chat about it, we can chat about it, because there's a lot of people already being triggered, because, there's white guys in the game, and, religion. As somebody who's not in the US and caught up in all that stuff and is a minority where I live, I can tell you it's just a game. It's just a game. It doesn't matter who's good, who's bad. I just want to know if the game's good. Does it look good? Does it play good? Is it the same old Far Cry? There's a tower, climb the tower, unlock the map. There's new missions, do the missions, find the next tower. I hope not. We've done that. So hopefully we can move past that. It does. From the screenshots and things I've seen, it looks interesting. So okay. It does take place in Montana, I believe.
Something is coming. You can feel it, can't you?
A lot of farms.
You can feel that we are creeping towards the edge.
Okay, I'm going to kind of pause it. I know I'm spoiling it for you. But there's tractors, there's sprinklers, there's hills in the mountains. These are all things you can see. I don't have notes on that right now, but we'll get back to it. There's bison, there's buffalo, massive landscape. Very, very, I don't know, America. Midwest America, kind of. That's the first look at the faction that we're going to be fighting. It seems like it. Lots of... You can see the bullet holes in the sign, so there's kind of a lot of controversy happening in this area. We've got a very religious faction. We're going to kind of find out who it is, what it is. Extremists.
I know that you were in pain.
I really hope that's not the tower system again. I don't know what else they could do, but I have a feeling we're going to see some of it.
For my children, I'm here to tell you.
Okay, there's a lot going on in this shot. You've got a general store. Hunting, fishing. Hunting and fishing will come back into the game, I believe. So it's probably going to tie into the crafting system and things like that. So that's pretty exciting. Worms sold. There's weird space between the SOLD. Is there something in those posters? No, it looks like beer and some other stuff. Let's just move on.
You that suffering is a choice.
Okay, from this shot, it seems like you're probably some kind of character. I do believe you play as like a deputy. And then this faction comes into towns, take over. And then obviously you've got allies that are living in these towns that don't want this faction taking over. And from him working on the engine, it seems like it. Maybe you can upgrade cars. You can do things like that. It seems like it. I'm just guessing at this point.
And you can choose a better path.
Oil change and wheel alignment. That's probably where you're going to take your vehicles to get upgraded. It looks... beautiful. Oh, the fishing. Oh, those ducks. I think those are little ducks. Yes, there's ducks. Hunting. That's the faction. It's kind of this weird... I don't know. It reminds me of those guys from Game of Thrones with the sun star cross thing. Maybe?
And we will take you. Willingly or not.
Okay, so they're kind of taking over the churches. Anything in this screen? I'm not seeing anything. It's obviously a normal family being tied up by these extremists.
And some of you may fight.
Okay, so they're being forced and being taken away.
And you will thank us. I am your father. And you are my children.
Okay, so they're destroying the old world. Seems like it. It looks massive. Flying is... There's bound to be flying. We know that. Glutton. Okay, so maybe there's kind of like the 7 deadly sins thing playing into the missions, maybe? Because we've got this overweight guy who got killed by the religious group, and it says glutton, so I would assume maybe there's kind of leaders in the land. Like farm leaders, and then the religious group comes in and kills them, and then you kind of got to work your way up. Wildlands had a similar kind of thing. Anything cool in this screen? I'm not seeing anything. They're obviously coming into a restaurant. There's a bar. There's a guy with a plane. Now we'll touch on him later. I'll chat about him later. There's another guy. I do believe he's a pastor. You can see he's got the collar thing. Greed. It says greed on his arm. Now, I wonder if that's the religious extremist or if that's actually one of the guys that got branded. That is probably, I shouldn't have assumed so quickly. That seems like one of the religious guys, but maybe he's like a converted. Lot of vehicles. These kind of way out interesting vehicles. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to modify a lot of stuff. Kellet Cattle Company. I wonder if that's kind of like a stronghold, like the bases you take over. I mean, we've seen that before. That could be a truck mission. Blow up the truck, blow up the supply. There's that yellow plane again. We'll talk about it soon. Chasing and herding the cows. Souls do not harvest themselves. So this is obviously a church that got taken over. So maybe you've got to take back the churches. There's going to be some kind of faction territorial game going on here probably. Against the free versus the religious extremist. It's kind of interesting. I mean, it does obviously tie into things that's happening in the real world. But subtly. It's kind of clever. A lot of people were triggered. I'm excited for this. This guy getting chased by a bear. Oh, there's a lot flashing.
For you are my children and I am your father.
That's obviously one of the main bad guys, if not the main bad guy. And he's got a finger missing. Sinner, Hope Country. Trust, pray, obey. So I think that's kind of what's going on. You've kind of got freedom. Everybody living in the country, maybe doing their own thing. Choices. And then you've got this extreme faction coming in and forcing everybody into their ways. 27th of February 2018. That's quite a way away. But hopefully by then there can be a lot of polishing happening. And then you've got the standard edition, the gold edition, and the deluxe edition, and so many editions. I'm pretty excited for what I see here. I know everybody from the screenshots and the box art just got, triggered. But I don't see anything to really be offended here by. It touches on some historical things and maybe touches on what's happening in the real world, but it's just a game. I think it was kind of daring of them to go in this direction because everybody would instantly just maybe jump on the hate bandwagon. But I think if the game does badly, it will most likely not be due to that. It'll be due to the fact that we're going to see a lot of repetitive gameplay and the towers and the climbing and things we've seen in the last 2 or 3 Far Crys. So as long as they break away from that, I'm pretty sure once people see that this isn't what they're assuming it to be, it's probably going to be pretty good. A hell of a lot better than Primal. What they also released were these kind of like teaser trailers. I'm not going to get too stuck into it because it's very narrative. It's just the guys talking. But some of the things that happen are pretty interesting. This was the guy we saw earlier with the plane.
She never let me down.
So he basically there's just something with that looks so photoreal. I know it's the lens blur that they've got on the effect there, but I actually had to look twice. So basically this goes, I don't want to play it out. Go watch it if you want to watch it. It's essentially, he tells the story of his son, that he wants the son to inherit. Well, it seems like the son. That he wants to inherit and fly the plane, but not like his grandparents did, who were in the war. So he doesn't want to fight, basically. But obviously because of this religious faction, there's violence and it's forcing him to have to fight. And that's when he attaches like a minigun to the plane. Just go watch some of it. I don't want to spoil all of it for you because I do think there's some good story happening here. Then there's another teaser trailer with the pastor in the church. It's so powerful that he has this man of peace who has to now resort to violence. I don't know what violence is, but he has to resort to violence to kind of keep the peace. Oh, there's so much stuff happening in this game that will tie back to what's happening in the world, but I think they might get away with it. So what I can tell is you've got this quiet hometown, and maybe apparently you play as the deputy sheriff, and then this extremist group comes in, and the people of the town, obviously some of them convert, some of them are crazy, some of them get killed, but I have a feeling a lot of the normal good standing folk are going to fight, and then you're going to get all these interesting allies and people that can help you out. What's more interesting is to kind of see how the different towns will react. Maybe you've got certain towns who accept it. Maybe you've got certain towns who become strongholds, who are against the extremists. It's still pretty vague at this point. From what I can tell, people were triggered by the screenshots, and this answered a lot of the questions that they were having in the comments and things of the websites. So hopefully they can just get over it and enjoy the game for what it is. Anyway, that kind of span on into a deep discussion, which I really didn't want. But there you have it. Just some thoughts, do we say we can say reactions now? 2017 reactions, initial reactions from me on the game. I will play it. From what I can see, I'm curious to see some more gameplay. I mean, there was a lot of gameplay, but I want to see more actual gameplay from the person you are playing as point of view. I didn't see a lot of that. But still, it's worth being excited about for now. It's something totally different, a total different direction. They were getting more and more way out with their concepts, and now they're kind of bringing it back home and making it a little bit more real. So hopefully it's a bit more emotional to play. Hopefully you can kind of get a bit more attached. Anyway, if you liked what you saw and you want to see more, or you're excited for this game, leave a like. But as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next video.